Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Leno. I got my homie Jave in the building. Say what's up to the people.
Yo, what up? Was that was good.
Man, not much, man. With you being an avid NBA fan, much like myself, last night the Warriors had taken their loss to the Sacramento Kings. It's so this segment is going to do. We're going to pretty much be doing a breakdown on this year's Warriors season. Um, you know, I saw the beginning of the end of this team. I would almost say once Clay got injured.
This team was finished, I think, way before then.
Before the Clay injury. Okay, why you say that?
This team was finished when Draymond punched Jordan Poole in the face.
Okay, so was that before or after Clay's injury?
Oh, you talking about Clay's injury against the Raptors?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you on that too. I mean, they still want a ring, so I'm gonna give them, a little leeway. They were able to, come back and bring the band together and get one more ring for that dynasty. I'm not mad at that.
Mhm.
But once Jordan Poole got punched in the face, and you took maybe your third, maybe second best player who can make a big leap to be better, worse, the team was finished because there's no growth. You see what I'm saying?
See, so, oh yeah. Okay. To add on to that, because I feel very objective to that, because quite frankly, during that time frame, if I'm not mistaken, Jamal Murray for the Denver Nuggets wasn't Jamal Murray.
That's true. That's true.
All right,
That's true.
coming out of the West, and you got LeBron going through AD's injuries, and Lakers just aren't really those guys. You got
Right,
the
right.
Clippers who can't stay healthy.
Hey, hey,
All
they
right.
had, but we got to give them their ring. You know what I'm saying? We got to give them
Mm.
their ring. But once you you could actually see that Draymond uh was keeping them down instead of building them up. I mean, he ran away KD. The next best thing to come to that organization since Curry, KD, and Clay was Jordan Poole. You
There
see what
we
I'm saying?
go. Exactly. That's exactly
And
the direction
so,
I wanted to go
and
too.
so, I mean, he pushed Jordan Poole away, and so, I mean, he literally brought them down. Anything that was good that came their way, Draymond flushed it out, and then got a new contract behind it. So, due to the contracts, due to the ability to not get any younger, and keep younger time, a lot of times too. Uh, Jonathan Kuminga can play. He doesn't get the
Hmm.
respect he deserves. Um, they had a few players. Trace Jackson, he
Hmm.
could play. Throughout this season, another thing also we need to question is Steve Kerr's ability to develop talent, because he was given
Yeah.
a team that he didn't develop because Mark
Yeah.
Jackson laid down a lot of the groundwork to develop that team. And so you're asking Steve Kerr to go and do something that he's never done before that Mark Jackson did before. So
Mhm.
you take all of those things into consideration. Um, once once Draymond gets KD off that team,
Mhm.
through they didn't have the tools to prepare to be able to succeed for a long period of time. I mean, uh,
Yeah. Hold on. I just let's. I also want to. I also want to interject slightly and just add on. Just add on a couple other synopsis
yep,
and
yep.
possible changes that could have helped the Warriors out. If Andrew Wiggins didn't have problems with his bitch at home, would that have helped the team out? Because he ain't really been the same since.
I personally, uh, if I have a franchise where I'm paying 3 champions over $20 million a year.
Yeah.
That's Steph Curry, that's Klay Thompson, that's Draymond. I'm not putting stock in Andrew Wiggins leading my team. I'm just
But
not.
he was a formidable piece for them to get to the finals against Boston. Like he emerged
He
as
did,
one of their most important players.
he did have a good 2 months, but over the span of Andrew Wiggins' career, he is not reliable.
He
And
is
I'm not
it appeared on that Warriors roster
for
that he had limited responsibility that he could handle, and he was consistent at what he was being asked to do.
I in my perfect opinion, the playoffs last for 2 months.
Mhm.
Andrew Wiggins' greatest impact on the Warriors only lasted that 2 months. He is a low
I think
impact.
immediately Andrew Wiggins definitely had a presence on that team once traded to that roster.
He's a low impact player. I think the impact is between Draymond, Steph, and Clay. I Wiggins got paid because he had a good 2 months, but during the season, Wiggins doesn't really have a lot of impact. He's not a he's not giving you 30 a game. He's not giving you 20 a
He
game.
hasn't been the same
He
since he
wasn't
had problems at home.
he wasn't doing that before. He just had a good 2 months in the playoffs.
Mm. Okay, so we're gonna segue into the homie Patrick Beverly that tried to warn us
He did.
about this man Chris Paul years ago when he was
Chris
on his
Fraud.
when he was on when he
Chris
was on his
Fraud.
Chris Paul.
Fraud. You said
Chris
Chris Fraud.
Fraud. Chris Fraud.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he tried to warn us about him
You can spell
years ago.
fraud with like a PHRAUD. That would be fire. You know what I mean? Chris
Oh
Fraud.
yeah, that's for fact. So in case you guys didn't know, we were warned by Patrick. By the way,
He's
Patrick Beverly.
cold.
By
He's
by the
cold.
way, Patrick Beverly is probably one of the best personalities in basketball that I've seen. And to be honest with you, I like his assessment of the court. I think he has really good court awareness. Even with him being more efficiently on the defensive side, he's knowledgeable of what's going on in like pretty much every position on the court.
Yeah. No
He
matter
takes
what.
his craft seriously. But this, just you're more than welcome to talk through this as well. But I
I
at
don't know
least
what
want
I
the
said.
people to see what Patrick Beverly tried to warn us about Chris Paul. I think this is Chris Paul in Phoenix.
Chris Paul when he played Phoenix Suns. Nobody in the NBA.
Well, what did I just say, though?
And I'm just letting you know how NBA players feel and think.
I believe you, but what I'm saying
He's
is,
finessed the game to a point where he gets all the petty calls, all the swipe throughs at the end. I mean, this guy is out, man. We gonna be honest. We want to be really honest.
Yes.
He should have fouled out. He should have fouled out. The last game too. You see the replay against Brunson. Hit him on the shoulder. Hit him in the mouth. Ref don't call anything. If that's me, review it. Flagrant one. If that's him, they don't call it. So let's not get it twisted, man. He should have fouled out. He can't guard. He literally can't guard.
he can't guard.
Yeah.
He can't. Chris Paul can't guard anybody. Is that what you say?
Did you see that? No, he can't. Everyone knows that.
Excuse me. No. I don't know that. I haven't heard anybody tell me that.
Because you haven't suited up. You know, guys don't like to tell you all the truth. You know that. 'Cause they scared. They scared what you gonna think.
No, he's
You know
right
me,
about
I
that.
don't
They will lie.
I don't care.
He's honest.
I'm
They
gonna
will
tell the
lie.
truth. They
That
gonna
is true. He's not lying about
Man,
that.
CP can't guard nobody, man. Everybody in the NBA know that. Everybody
can't
know
guard
that.
anybody.
What we call them? Cone. You know what you do with cones? Like
Just-
when in the summertime, you got a cone. You make a move.
On
What does the
national
cone do?
TV.
Stay
The
still.
audacity.
Exactly. He's a cone.
Tell the truth.
Everybody knows that.
The
Everyone knows
audacity
that.
to tell
It's just
that-
y'all don't want to
that
accept it
right
because
No, I don't accept that. I
No
don't.
button
No.
piece
I'm
right
saying if you're taller than them,
hurts.
you think you can shoot over my
Hey.
Give him the Ben Simmons slander.
Ain't
Give him the PG 13
Hold on, whoa,
slander. Give him the slander that you give everybody.
Well,
Come on,
first of all-
Steve.
All right. How much of a waste of a time was this to have Chris Paul on the roster of the Warriors this season?
All right. First off, are you asking me to kick Chris Paul's back in?
For
Are
facts.
you asking
For
me
facts. That's what we're here for.
Potter to
Because we're about to
slaughter
show these Sacramento
Chris
highlights,
Paul's
and I don't think Chris Paul's
reputation.
in any one of them.
Are you asking me to slaughter Chris Paul's reputation? Are
Indeed.
you asking me, my girl's favorite player, to kill Chris Paul?
I'm sure.
I need a yes or a no.
I need you to be a man. I
I
need
just,
you
I just need you to ask me yes or no. Ask me yes or
yes.
no.
Yes.
Oh, well, can't wait. Let's go. Hey, Mans was out there looking like Raymond Felton.
Whoa. Not heavy point guard, not the heavy point build on 2K.
Looking like Unc Vern out there. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Low impact.
Low
Been there
impact.
all season. All I've been hearing is he was gonna restructure the offense and he was gonna make things flow. And they got a
Get the bench
general.
involved, get the bench involved with the roster when the
Yeah.
second guys come in.
All I saw was an assistant coach. That's all I saw. All I saw was it. Matter of fact, I forgot he was playing this year.
I'm telling you, I think did he have a back injury majority of the season or some weird stuff like that?
Man, I was noticing his fits was fire more than I noticed him being on the court. Nigga had that shit on. I ain't gonna hate, but he wore that more than the jersey. I think I might have seen more Gucci fits than jerseys, if we being honest.
Cause you know what? I got some footage I watched earlier of I think it was Chris Paul was trying to
Chris Fraud. You gotta say the name right.
Chris Fraud. Here we go. I found it. 1 second, bud.
Let's see.
This right here to me, this body language in this footage speaks to me on his presence. This sums up this season of Chris Paul right here. And I want y'all to pay attention to Stephen Curry and Draymond's body language because this injured fuck, he was hurt and wanted to go out of his way to say what he think is important to Stephen Curry and Draymond.
Because he knows best. He knows about winning championships.
Yeah, he knows everything.
You know what it takes.
Chris Paul will not return to this game, but he noticed something in that third quarter, and he walks out, he greets Stephen Curry, then he brings in Draymond Green, having a basketball conversation.
You learning something, young fella.
Well, yeah, they're doing some.
Can't walk, but let me show you this.
So they want to know what's going on with Chris Paul and his injury. They're checking on him, so.
Can you walk, bro?
Not good news. And then Gary Payton II also had to leave the game.
Nigga walked off like, yo, man. Hi, dog.
Curry, like I've been cooking you and eliminating you from doing anything in your career. What the hell do you have to tell me right now?
Well, yeah, they're doing some talking there. I'm sure.
You know, when Ump start tripping, you know what I'm saying? Just start saying random nonsense.
He really looking like Draymond. Please tell him to shut the fuck up.
Nah, he want him to punch him like he did Jordan Poole. Please.
Why you hit this nigga? He really mad at Draymond. I'm tired of you hitting fucking with our main players, bro. Hey.
You might knock that nigga into retirement. I ain't gonna hold you.
So we want to get back on Chris Paul, but to the fact, how much of an impact do you think DiVincenzo would have made to this roster if they didn't lose him to New York?
A decent amount. I mean, he would have been a good high energy. He would have affected their pace. A thing about the Warriors that kept them so good over time was that they were allowed to play at a fast pace to get out and keep the ball moving. Somebody like Chris Paul, he's going to slow the pace down, slow the game down. That's half court for a bench team is not the best output. You know, slowing it down and making a bench team shoot jump shots. Bench players want to get out and run. They got high energy coming off that bench. So DiVincenzo would have definitely, and also too, ball movement. That Warriors offense revolves around a lot of ball movement, a lot of high screening, a lot of off-ball screens. So the ball is going to move a lot. When you have somebody like Chris Paul who's ball dominant, it's not going to happen. You know, he's going to slow the game down, post up, look for a mismatch instead of running an offense that's going to keep the ball passing from hand to hand. You might get backdoors off of off ball, might get a three off of off ball. a lot of movement going on. But if you have one person just standing with the ball, looking for big to post up on a small guy or going
basically.
searching for a mismatch, it's not going to happen.
So, all right, and then okay, even though the Lakers had pretty much eliminated the Warriors last year, there were signs from that roster when the Golden State had gotten desperate at a point against them to where Steve Kerr was utilizing his bench. And one of the key components that I saw maybe game 6 was when he started playing Jermichael Green. I felt like some of those pieces he could have brought into that next season and would have helped them periodically through the season. Which basically I'm pointing out to Steve Kerr's coaching at that moment. Like, is there anything that you see out of Steve Kerr's rotations this year that could have stood a chance to help improve their season? Because he's known for having depth.
I'm going to be honest with you. Steve Kerr was definitely a big problem. Um, Due to the low impact, due to ability to stay healthy, due to low amount of production, Klay Thompson is at the point of where Westbrook was, as far as you need to come off the bench. You're not productive as a starter.
Mm.
So players like Kuminga should have been starting. Uh, if DiVincenzo was still on the team, he might have should have been starting. Um, Gary Payton III probably should have been starting. Uh, there was a lot of players who, matter of fact, Wiggins should have been on the bench or coming off the bench from his low impact. So I think
Mm.
um, he made a conscious decision to ride with his guys who've got him championships over the years, and you can respect that kind of loyalty, but it's not going to get it done. So the fact of that he didn't make the difficult decisions, the tough decisions that needed to be made, they took L's, and that's on coach, that's on organization, because clearly Clay is not who he is. Clearly Wiggins is not invested, or he's not what he needs to be. Clearly a lot of those young players have more energy, more health, and
Mm.
also um, they need the experience to get out there and get some runs in so that when the time comes, they're able to execute. And he poorly managed that team. That team had depth. That team had youth. It was not being used. And that's on the coach.
Do
And
you?
Steve
Yeah.
Kerr has a lot to prove to me, in my
That
opinion.
championship team had lost a lot of its pieces, and I think majority of those pieces that left are no longer in the NBA right now. I mean, let's look at Otto Porter Jr., who I think he's released as a free agent. It may not have been worth losing that money.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Otto Porter and Andrew Wiggins were big parts of that championship team. You still had Gary Payton the third.
Who they brought back.
Yeah, they brought him back. You still had a few. I think Kuminga might have still been on the team at that time. He just wasn't playing.
Hmm.
So I don't have the excuse of saying that they don't have that team anymore. It was poorly utilized. The
Yeah,
the 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 point of the regular season is for younger players is to get them exposure, get them experience, and find a way to implicate them in the roster so that they can be successful. They have not done that.
exactly. That's one thing I did not see. I didn't watch too many games this season of every team in the NBA, but I did pay attention to these guys, and it kind of seemed like they kept their starters in rotation. It didn't seem like the youngsters were as involved or developing periodically through the season, which they needed, even considering that they got veteran players on their roster, and you're not trying to overwork these gentlemen at all.
Exactly. So if Clay is 0 for 5, he should be sitting. I mean, it's do
They
or
waited.
die.
They waited too late to have him come off the bench too.
I mean, they had a game where he came off the bench, and then 2 games later he cried about it and he started.
And he
Uh,
had 30 points, if
and
I'm not mistaken, coming off the bench as well.
also, when you that's because you're playing against lesser talent. You have a better ability to score. But another thing also is, I mean, Draymond. We have to hold Draymond accountable. There were many missed games and opportunities due to Draymond not being on the floor. He was suspended for about 2 weeks for punching somebody in the face. He's getting kicked out of games in the first quarter, so he's not giving his team the full defensive threat that they need
Two
for a team
weeks.
that already is
2
lacking
weeks is
defensively.
what, 7 or 8 games probably?
He probably, yeah.
And then we're talking with, and then also with the suspensions, can we add on what? But maybe 12 to 13 games.
Yeah, there's 12 to 13 games. So he's missing 12 to 13 games, and there's probably 2 games in those 12 to 13 that if you win those, you're out of the play-in. You're a 6 seed. You're 3 games away from being a 5 seed or a 6 seed.
Yeah.
So it's the little things that the Warriors did not execute on in order to make them a good team. That's player development. That's veterans understanding where they are in management. That's just poor veteran management. And then third, you got to look at, off the court issues. They did not handle the off the court issues to the point where that it affected the team. You got Draymond going crazy, getting suspended, and you got Andrew Wiggins off the floor. So that falls on organization and coach. That's on Steve Kerr, and he hasn't impressed me at all. So winning with KD, I'm not gonna say any coach can do it, but taking a team that somebody else already developed. So I mean, he has to show. In my opinion,
I agree with you completely. I mean, really, I had high respects for Kerr. I mean, I agree. I agree with how he did take the team from Mark Jackson and excel, but it's like you already had things built. It's easier to take advantage of that. But to me, the moment I started losing respect for him was how he ran his rotations during the FIBA Olympic Games. Was it this past summer or the summer before? And he wanted Edwards off the bench. He was. I mean, I don't know what was going on there, but I was just like, all right, hold on, maybe this guy doesn't. He only he may not be as well rounded as we think.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If Eric Spoelstra's coaching this team, they don't lose like that.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Popovich is coaching this team, they don't lose like that.
Mike Malone is up there with these guys now because Denver knows what they're doing. So we might as well throw him in there too.
So I'm just gonna be we put Steve Kerr in these brackets of great coaches. I'm gonna allow. I'm just gonna say it. Those coaches are not letting this season play out like that.
No, not at all.
Eric Spoelstra is not letting this happen. Popovich is not letting this happen. It's too much talent on that floor for it not.
Is that Mike Brown in Sacramento?
Yeah, it is.
Mike Brown's not letting that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I got one better for you, okay? All right. They haven't won anything since Mike Brown left that organization.
That as assistant coach, he was assistant coach on that staff. You know what? I think you wanted something right there, man.
Mike Brown might be Quentin Miller to Steve Kerr.
I mean, shoot. I mean, we've seen several coaches alongside Steve Kerr.
The ghost might be there.
Let's look at some of these highlights last night and kind of break. Let's just check out the Warriors.
Look at Chris Fraud. Come on. I'm not gonna lie, it's only so much you can get from him. Like Kuminga. Look at that. The second leading scorer on that team is the young guy that gets paid the least amount of money. That gets paid you looking at Draymond Green with that 12 points is $20 million. Klay Thompson, $20 million. Chris Paul is $40 million. $80 million can't score more than 16 points. That's despicable. That's bad management. That's bad coaching.
Yeah, the GM.
No way Andrew Wiggins gets paid $30 million. They have $100 million that can't surpass his 6 for 15.
Is this the? I mean, is the original idea is for them to flush this $40 million that Chris Paul's being owed to?
Yes. Yeah. I'm
and
sure
so going into next season,
I'm sure it is. They're going to have to make a move.
Let's look at free agents and see if this is worth the salary dump.
I'm just what free agent are you trading for Chris Paul?
No, isn't he going to be released? His contract expires.
Let's see. They knowing bad luck, they might have one more year stuck with him. pull this Chris Paul contract up. Or do you got it?
I don't. I think it'll pop up on this free agent. I mean, I just looked up ESPN's free agent list. That's what I got up right now. So maybe if it shows that he's a free agent, then more than likely that's the case that we're in. Is that his
Nah,
contract?
he's under contract till 24-25,
That's this upcoming season.
but they have a team option.
Oh, well,
They're not taking that team option. It's 30 mil.
Yeah, they're not going to pick up. They're not going to pick that up. He's a free agent.
30 mil, dog. Oh my
Let's see
lord.
here.
30 mil. So
Atlanta doesn't have any. Atlanta doesn't have any pivotal free agents
So for Chris Paul, you're looking
unless
at
they want Clint Capella, who the Warriors were interested in. But I'm not gonna. At this point, you don't have to pay that much money for no darn Clint Capella.
for Chris Paul, you can get 2 role players for 30 million.
It's not a trade. We're talking about free agency. Chris Paul's not going to be worth a damn trade.
That's what I'm saying. For Chris Paul, you can get 2 free agent role players. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad.
Al Horford's too old. He's a free agent.
Yeah, he might be going back to Boston.
Derek White, he'll probably resign.
Yeah, he will. He will.
Nick Claxton will probably re-sign with Brooklyn. Brooklyn's going to give him a contract.
You know what? They're talking about Nick Claxton might be available. That's it's a good defensive big man that they can use. I'm not gonna lie. Also, too, another thing about this team, the mismanagement of James Wiseman. They could have used James Wiseman. They could have used a 7-footer to defend the rim against.
Was Wiseman always hurt?
No. They didn't like that he was not picking up the pace of the offense fast enough, and he was slowing down their offense because they wanted to push the pace and get out and run, and it's hard to do with a big man. So, but had in the days and times of Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Jokic, if they would have used James Wiseman the right way, he could have been a factor. But that goes to Steve Kerr's lack of development once again.
Scrolling down. Well, I don't think anybody's picking up Ben Simmons anytime soon.
Nah. That's my favorite player now. Just to get paid.
What's the status on Miles Bridges?
He's been playing. I heard they almost tried to pick him up this year due to a situation. So we'll see. He might be in rotation. They got some moves to make. I don't see one clear cut.
They can go after him.
To me, they're better off drafting right.
Does the Hornets grab his brother Seth? Brandon Curry's in there?
Nah. What they need is good wings. They need productive wings. They need 2 through 4. Actually, 2 through 5. They need productive and mobile. You need a replacement for Clay. You need a replacement for Wiggins. You need a replacement for
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Torrey Craig play pretty decent for the Bulls?
He does, but he's not much of a wing. He's much of an on-ball player.
Okay.
So, nah.
Yeah, I'm scrolling, man.
There's not much out there, man.
Money Bay.
Looking towards the draft.
I think Donovan will stay in Cleveland. Where did Donovan Mitchell originally want to get traded to? I thought he had a
New York. He's looking at either going.
He's got a player option. I think is that this upcoming summer or the following summer.
I think it's this upcoming summer, but he's either going to LA or Miami right now. That's the move.
Why'd you say LA?
There's word that the Lakers want him instead of D'Lo because they want another star, and he originally wanted to go to Miami, but he was from Utah's GM, who was an old Celtic, was not going to send him to Pat Riley.
Shit.
So he's either going to try to finagle his way, but him wanting to be in a major city was taking him away from Cleveland.
Okay. So we could definitely see that changing. Yeah, I don't think any of these guys are leaving Dallas. Yeah, this is looking crazy. Um, I don't think, I don't think Reggie Jackson's going to part ways with Denver, but Jamal Murray's probably about to finally get his money.
Dog, it's nothing. There's no problem solvers in the free agency for the Warriors. They're gonna have to draft well and find pieces from 2 through 5. It is what it is. They're stuck. The moments that they had to be able to make trades to where they could fix their roster.
Why didn't they use Dario Saric? He's Mr. Big Man Midi. He's got knockdown. He's not very defensive, but he's got all offense.
You don't have a coach that's able to bring it out of his players.
I didn't even know they had him off the
It's not
bench.
gonna happen. They're gonna have to retool. Right now, the Rockets look very good. They need to follow their business model, and it should be a fire sale. You know, Pacers look better than the Warriors right
Does
now.
Pascal Siakam resign with the
Uh,
Pacers? He's got every reason to resign, unless he just
I
don't want to
say
be in
yes.
Indiana.
I say yes, but I also say no. The amount of money matters. The Pacers open up the bag for him, which they might give to Halliburton, and I don't think he resigns. Also,
There's not too much bag that the Pacers really giving out right now.
did Miles Turner resign with the Pacers?
I think he did. Yeah. I know. Oh, hold on. It might have been a short-term extension. I think it was a short. He got paid, but it's a short-term. It's some sort of extension because they got ESPN's got Miles Turner's contract up in the 2025 season. So I think that might be upcoming season.
That's next year. That's next year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing that they could do right now. They need to look into the draft, probably have a fire sale, uh, and they might need to bring in
I don't
somebody.
think Harden's leaving LA or Westbrook.
Nah, they said Paul George is leaving. They say he might go to the Sixers. I doubt it, but that's just what they're saying. Um, Warriors are gonna have to draft. They're gonna have to draft and develop. The ability to play with their roster is gone. Grizzlies have a lot of good players in their G League system, so that might be a move for them. But nah, the Warriors are fucked. Dynasty over.
Why wouldn't they try and grab Kevin Love?
Kevin Love likes Miami. He likes the culture. He's not leaving.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, as a Heat fan, you can't rely on Kevin Love to play every game.
Hmm.
He's gonna come off the bench. He's not a starter, and he at his age he can't stay healthy long enough to be a starter.
Does Gallup? Well, no, Gallinari's not a starter. Man, I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just going to scroll through just so everybody can kind of look at what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. The best thing I can see them doing is poaching Andrew Wiggins or poaching Siakam. That's it, and that still won't solve their problems.
Yeah, this is.
Unless something drastic happens in the playoffs, you could possibly trade Clay for some picks. Doubt that happens either. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't see it right now.
Dynasty over.
Yeah, this dynasty's over.
Mm-hmm.
Did they go after Bruce Brown? No, they need a starter. Bruce Brown plays decent defense.
Not worth it. Not even worth the take. I got one for you. I need to pull up Utah's roster.
Okay.
Give me just a second. I think Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson would be good additions to their team.
Are they? They're not agents.
Huh?
They're not agents.
They might have to make a trade or something, but
Well, shoot, Clay hasn't increased his value at all. For
clearly not. Unless if Utah is trying to start over and tank or rebuild, you could possibly send a trade for marking
It,
it.
it wasn't just till last year that they actually wanted to tank out.
Yeah, they
If I'm not
wanted Webby.
mistaken.
Didn't get him. So
So so in that case they would have jerseys to sell. If I'm the Utah Jazz, I'm gonna ask for a pick. I'm gonna ask
yeah,
for a first round pick from the Warriors as well. I'm gonna try and clean them out. If I'm gonna give up marketing and Jordan Clarkson being the best player on my roster.
yep. Nah, Marketing is the best player,
Mm.
but I would make that trade. Try to get Marketing and Clarkson. That's the only move I see possible for them.
I think Jordan and marketing get a decent check.
That's fine. They'll have more impact and be more productive. I'd even put Wiggins on that trade block with them. Wiggins, Clay,
Let's see here.
Draymond all can go.
Let's see. Marketing. Let's see. Just tonight, just to give guys, because we still have people out here that don't pay attention to the league. They only pay majority of this world only pays attention to the good teams.
Right.
So let's give some people an idea or a face to whom you're talking about with
Last year,
Laurie marketing.
last year, the direction of their franchise right there. Draymond not doing that, by the way. Clay's not doing that right now, by the way.
Yeah, they're gonna need marketing.
It ain't gonna happen. But that's a move I would try to make.
They love to run that high screen and roll. If you give him momentum, he can finish. And if I'm not mistaken, marketing's got a little bit of a perimeter shot as well.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a game changer. I mean, at this point, he's young, he doesn't get that much attention, but the man has a bit of starship in him, bro.
He's been a baller his whole career. He started off with the Bulls playing with Jimmy Butler.
He was just hurt.
Yeah, he can play. He's what they would need right now. I would seriously all chips on the table for marketing and Clarkson too. I would. But 23-8 is 23-8. You need that on your roster.
He's got speed off the dribble, can face up.
Mm-hmm. Mobile.
Mobility would change
Mm-hmm.
everything. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I to be honest with you, there's the only person to have marketing. I don't think anybody is worth saving other than Steph Curry if I was going after marketing.
Yeah, all chips on the table. Money, picks, whatever you need.
Draymond and Clay.
Draymond be on the Pistons if it wasn't for me.
Like I just don't see it. I mean, it's cool that he's smart and he can be it's like being a vocal back end, but then you still don't know how to do the rotations on 2K or
No,
I
you
don't
just
know.
can't shoot. You go 0 for 5 every game, but you know the rotations and can pass. You got high passing. Woo.
But I mean, but
Like,
you got to
bro,
least,
look at him.
but you got to still look at the cup though. Knock down three, on Steph at that.
Mm-hmm. Knockdown 3. Look at that. Draymond ain't did that in 5 years.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with this one. I just think that this guy is probably a 5-star trade for a bunch of 2.5-star players, if that. I don't think that trade is going to even register on 2K.
I don't know, man. They're
But I mean, okay, because marketing is what been in the league 4 or 5 years.
I think he's on a second contract. He's been in the league at least since 2018.
It's 5 years. Okay, about like no 6 years, 5 or 6 years.
Matter of fact, let me pull it up. Let's see his rookie year. He was a rookie in 2018, 2017, 2018. So he's probably at the end of his rookie extension right now. I would make that move. I would.
Yeah, I don't see anything else formidable to go along with this. With the Jazz I don't think Jazz had a good roster either, so they might be in a situation where they could get a
They're gonna get a. If you trade your first round pick right now, it would be a late. It would be a late first rounder to go with their early first rounder. So they would have 2 picks in the first round in this year's draft. I, they should take that
this
deal.
isn't the draft that people are invested in. That's the crazy part. Unless it's a sleep, unless they actually can eye a sleeper. That could,
That's what scouting's for. You know, I'm gonna tell you.
yeah, this is this is looked upon as being one of the weak draft classes.
Yeah. I mean, that's what scouting's for. All righty, Chris Fraud, man, gotta say his name right.
Chris Fraud. Does Chris Fraud, does he retire?
No. Now, should he retire? Yes. Now these older guys will play past their legacy because they just enjoy the game. Kyle Lowry's still out there.
I don't think. Yay! When I tell
Kyle
you
Lowry's still playing,
his minutes diminished crazy like.
Hey,
I did not see that coming.
hey, I did. I got Chris Paul signing with another team this year. Possibly going back to the Suns. Possibly going to a lot of places. Wizards, Rockets, anywhere. A lot of these teams that need a veteran, he's going. Next to nothing. 10 mil at the most.
That's still the minimum, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, the veteran minimum.
I mean, he's made enough NBA
Or
money.
is he going to sit on free agency? Because it's not a jersey to sell or a game to play. He was head of the Players Association, so they might figure out a roster for him to play for. Rudy Gay's still out here on somebody's roster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'll get some burn. You know what I'm saying? He'll find a spot that needs a vet. You know, he'll be just fine. I'm not worried, but he's playing. He will be out there.
And he can play with another big.
Yeah, he will be out there.
I'm not gonna lie, Lloyd Markin is pretty solid.
Oh, I know.
Hey, I'm gonna be real with you. He is what we want Anthony Davis to be.
Nah, Anthony Davis can't do that. He's not mobile enough, and he's heavier than Anthony Davis. Well, we'll get into them Lakers later. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was about to say we'll do that. About to close this segment out, man. Anything you want to include before I end this segment?
Chris Fraud, Dynasty over. You know, always #1 Heat fan. You know what I mean? About playoff time, we ready.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button for us as well. I'm going to be doing more NBA content that's going into the playoffs. And also as well, let people know about your Discord.
Oh yeah, Jave TV, Jave's World. That's my Discord on discord.com. Holla at me if you need me. Streams. It's a bunch of video content, bunch of gaming streams, 2K Pro-Am, Sock Monsters, all that. So just read there, subscribe.
When this video finally uploads as well, just also put a link into your Discord into the comment section as well.
Yep, I got it. It'll be there.
All right, I'm about to queue up this.
So special.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
We're starting off every show like this from now on.